tell me about the history of Free Speech for People. It's not a very old organization. I believe it's been around for about 15 years.
Yes, so you can time it to the day because we were founded on the day that the Citizens United decision came down. It was decided just over 15 years ago, as you noted, and it fundamentally changed the nature of elections in the United States. There had been several concerning rulings before that, leading up to Citizens United, but this is the one that held essentially that corporations are people and money is speech when it comes to our elections. And our founders and early supporters realized immediately that the Supreme Court and big money interests were moving us away from reasonable constitutional interpretations and the democratic ideals upon which our country was formed, right? I mean, they realized it absolutely. They were ready to go. And it's a really impressive movement and organization that they built. And again, all on this cornerstone of we need to protect our democracy to protect and realize political equality. One does not exist without the other, and you don't get either if money is the thing that matters more than anything. And we're seeing that, right? We're seeing a country that is just, bleeding through with corruption and corrupt interests, and we're seeing what that is doing to our democracy. Um,
How would Free Speech for People judge victory? Of course, Trump did get impeached in his first term, but the Senate refused to ratify it. And we heard Mitch McConnell give the most hypocritical defense of leading the Senate away from completing the removal of Trump. Would that have been a defeat for free speech for people? How do you know when you've achieved your aims?
I think one thing that Free Speech for People does, and the brilliant folks that I get to work with every day, including John Bonifaz, who is our co-founder and still our president, is recognizing that we get to celebrate the ongoing victories while keeping our eye on a bigger prize and recognizing that every prize we get, there's something else we can do to protect our democracy. So there are victories in the cases we win. Even when it's a win before a district court and we fear, an appellate court might overrule it. There are victories when we, get 1 million people signing a petition saying it's time to impeach Trump, it's time to impeach members of his cabinet. There are victories when, members of Congress who had never supported impeachment before are now voting for impeachment because they realize they have a constitutional duty to do so. And we're still going for the bigger prize, right? We're still going for a point where the numbers in Congress who need to vote for impeachment do it. Not because they do or do not share a political party with Trump, but because they realize they have a moral and frankly legal obligation to impeach. The Constitution absolutely demands it, right? That it is not a, well, impeach if you feel like it. It is a you shall impeach language. And we are well beyond that point. And so, look, we are looking for impeachment, conviction, removal from office, but we're not going to be blind to the other changes that need to happen. Even once Trump leaves office, there are other forces who are challenging our democracy. So we're not going to stop when Trump leaves office. There